to the Kent Lapp Podcast.
I want to talk for a minute about Mike Pence. Now, it's not like he's a friend of mine or I'm close to him, but his character is indisputable. Mike's a solid believer. He and his wife, it's obvious that their faith is what drives who they are. And I would make this observation. He is the perfect partner with Trump. Because what Trump doesn't have, he has.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine for a minute, all this grief that Trump's getting about the response to the coronavirus. When's the last time you heard of the biggest crisis the country is going through and the president handing it to the vice president to run? That's pretty interesting to me. And I watched intently the conversation between Mike Pence and Kamala Harris in that last debate. What Trump lacks in the details, Pence has 100-fold over.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows the details. And you are not going to twist the details on him because nobody in the room is going to know the details better than him. And when I take a look at this administration, and I know that Pence wasn't Trump's first pick, but so many people came to him and said, this is what you got to do. And Trump's a good decision maker, right? I would imagine if you had him sitting in here in this room and you said, what's one of the best decisions you've made relative to your administration? He'd look you square in the eyes and he'd go, Mike Pence. So I do think that what happens here in America is he allows Pence to be visible. He gives him things that makes him visible. And that takes a little bit of the heat off of him.
Yes.
When he's being Donald Trump, the New Yorker.
Yes. That's an interesting thought. I had not thought. So I was not thinking that Trump was giving Pence like extra airtime or whatever. I think Trump is... He is the perfect candidate for... Pence is the perfect candidate for Trump.
But you made this point earlier. Pence has a lot of authority and is given a lot of stuff. But the media won't report it. They just want to talk about Trump.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I really enjoyed the vice presidential debate, honestly.
I thought it was well done.
I thought it was very well done. I thought Kamala Harris communicated her points pretty well. I thought Pence communicated his points very well. The whole thing, it was well structured. It's impressive to me for the way that they can communicate a viewpoint on an issue that apparently they don't really know what's going to be talked about ahead of time. They're going to have some ideas. They're going to be prepped a lot, of course. But they don't have the questions ahead of time. They don't even have the topics ahead of time. Is that accurate?
That's accurate.
And to be asked a question,
well, they have they have the topics. They know what the topics are.
Yep. So to be asked,
but not the questions.
Sure. So to be asked a question on the spot and to be able to communicate succinctly and clearly and effectively to the American people for 2 minutes and not ramble and jumble, that's an impressive ability. Impressive.
Yeah, my mind immediately goes to Amy Coney Barrett. Sitting there with no notes. I mean, that lady is stinking brilliant.
Yes, she is. She is. You see the moment where she held up the notebook.
Yeah.
And she was asked about everything
awesome.
that was so great. She's being asked about all the questions that she's answering and the notebooks on her table. And the guy asked her, what's on the notebook? And she holds it up and it's just blank. It was like a hotel notebook or whatever.
It says the U.S. Senate on the top.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was picturing
Senate.
like this hotel notebook. Yeah, U.S. Senate at the top and that's it. Amy Coney Barrett got in relatively easy. Like, that didn't turn out to be a dramatic fight like
the others.
That I thought they were going to do, but apparently there was just no other way. There was no way for them to stop it, right? And so that's why it was relatively smooth.
Oh, they did focus groups. They had internal strategy sessions, and they concluded that, one, you couldn't really go after her qualifications, and she had references from both sides of the aisle, and that she was a woman, and she was a mother,
Yep.
I mean, you look at all the bells that they would normally try to ring. I mean, they had to conclude that all that was going to do was lose votes for them if they went that route in the middle of this presidential election.
Well, there was one of the reporters, I think this was on ABC, before the vice presidential debate, I think, unless it was one of the presidential debates. It was when, Amy Coney Barrett was being talked about. She hadn't been confirmed yet and all of this. And the reporter, I kid you not, this was on ABC, the reporter called Pence it was someone they brought in. They called Pence what's the B word for like someone's like belligerent? It's not belligerent, but not a bully, but like they called him like it's right on the tip of my tongue, where someone like basically would like look down on other people because of their skin color or something. Not a racist, but they called him a very bad word, and they tried to position Amy Coney Barrett in terms of like being a fanatic. That was the term for Amy Coney Barrett, was a fanatic, a religious fanatic. That's where I thought this whole thing was going to go, and then it just sort of fizzled out. Because it seemed early on like the biggest problem that the left was going to have with Amy Coney Barrett was the fact that she was a Catholic. So let's all sit around and
well, what are you going to do with that?
And observe what we're hearing now.
Biden claims he's a Catholic, so
yeah, that's true. It didn't go anywhere.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, you're right.